My name is Professor Janet Druker. I'm from the University of Westminster Business School. I work particularly with a group in the Human Resource Management Department, and unfortunately these days I have too little contact with undergraduate students, but I deal particularly with postgraduate, especially the PhD students, and work with colleagues to develop research within and from our department. I think that the HR profession is fantastic in terms of the way in which people deal with the need to change rapidly, fundamentally, and in a very thoroughgoing way. And in that respect, I think people should be very proud of themselves in terms of what they achieve. Often government requirements, we've got Brexit, business requirements, fundamental shifts in business strategy necessitate changes, and HR has to respond. But that's HR at the reactive end, and I think that it's important too to think about what HR can achieve by being proactive, by reflecting on the state of the business, by thinking about what's gone before, about the initiatives that have taken place, and about the ways in which they might have worked better. Sometimes we don't go far enough as a profession in evaluating what's happened, and I was going to say it's easy to make changes. Of course it's not, but those changes can be more effective if they're planned very carefully. Of course you do that, but also if subsequently there's an evaluation and the learning from those changes, the learning from innovation is absorbed and assimilated to enable what follows on to be more effective. The learning process involves action, but it also involves reflection and adaptation. And sometimes I wonder if we're as good at the adaptation as we are at the innovation. So that's really fundamental, I think, to the challenge for HR currently and in the future. Change isn't going to go away. But the ways in which we manage change might be smoothed, might be made more flexible if we were able to reflect back on what had gone before. Well, clearly it follows from what I've just said that data analytics is key for HR people. We need to be measuring how effective we are, and we need to have firm ground when we're discussing innovation with other parts of the business. It's not always easy for HR to influence chief executive thinking. I've recently been looking at the annual reports of some of our largest PLCs, and I've been struck by the absence of HR expertise at the very top of organisations. I think it's something that the CIPD, frankly, should be taking more seriously. In all of the discussions about the makeup of boards of directors, the unitary boards, it seems to me that we need more HR expertise there. But given that that is not the case currently, we should then be thinking about how to persuade chief executives, who often are rather perhaps driven by metrics rather than by people-based issues. So data analytics certainly is one way in which we can deploy technology, use information systems to convince people of the importance of marrying HR with other aspects of business innovation. Thinking though about technology, it's every aspect of the business. It's the product, the service, the marketing, the way in which the information system works, the way in which we hire people. All of those things are part of our daily lives, but I guess that the bête noire for many people will be email. So we can't talk about technology without saying a word or two about email. How many hundreds of emails do people get in a day? How could we reduce that? Can we use people's time more effectively by networking their communication processes, by ensuring that they're part of project teams or interest groups which liaise with each other in different ways? I think every organisation has to reflect on reflection again on the ways in which email is used and the ways in which the individual daily lives of employees, of those who work for and around the organisation. It's not just employees, but it's subcontractors, suppliers, partners, and their workers too. How can they be made more effective? Because ultimately that's about efficiency. If you waste people's time, if they feel that they have to respond, if we all feel we have to respond to every one of the emails that we receive daily, then we are not going to be as efficient as we would like to be. So managing email is obviously a key part of the process. Well, engaging talent is an important issue, isn't it? The first thing that strikes me is that we know now that many graduates go out into the world of business working at levels rather perhaps below their educational level, below their skill set, and are seeking to advance their position within the organisation. It surprises me that some businesses don't think about that issue in terms of providing routes for development and routes for opportunity to their younger, I shouldn't say younger perhaps, but yes, to often the younger people who've emerged recently from higher education or from other areas of education, looking for opportunity and not finding a way to grasp it. Technology clearly is one route for development because these days in universities we're using technology as a means of liaison through virtual learning environments, through using, young people using smartphones, through the ways in which people can access learning in brief, short bursts, sometimes while they're travelling, while they have 20 minutes to spare. Using those opportunities, using the technology is fundamental for the future. The other thing about learning and talent, and since I come from a university, perhaps you'll forgive me for saying a word or two about the role of universities. It strikes me over my career in higher education over the last 25 years anyway, that our links with business, we work hard at having links with business, but the links for our undergraduates with the business community are harder to foster now than they were in the past. Maybe businesses are under pressure and they're finding it more challenging to spend time thinking about where their recruits will come from. But the days when blue chip companies courted universities and sought to take in not just the best and the brightest, but those who would be adaptable and flexible, who would understand business needs, I think are diminishing. Those challenges are greater than they were in the past. People talk about apprenticeship opportunities, but there are so few apprenticeships for people in the business world, and still there are challenges about the quality of some of those apprenticeships. So I would like to see more links between universities and businesses at every level, from the undergraduate level and undergraduate recruitment, even undergraduate sponsorship, the creation of internships for people who are currently studying, let's say to work over their summer vacations. More opportunities of that type. I'd like to see more opportunities for those who emerge from the education sector going into business, but perhaps into positions which may not realise fully their aspirations, to enable their development so that the businesses themselves can profit from the talent they're employing and nurture people for the future. Our notion of career development, the notion of being based in one organisation for a long time, has taken a severe knocking. But perhaps it's time to rethink some of those issues and to ensure that where someone is known as reliable, adaptable, willing to work, they can be given opportunities to develop their future and to contribute fundamentally in the business in which they're engaged. Well, firstly, can I say thank you for the opportunity to be involved in Reward Life, because it's a delight for me to be part of an event with so many talented people people from so many different walks of life involved. Of course, it's important for people to get together, and in these days of the internet technology driving our communications, there still is no substitute for face-to-face contact. The word networking is perhaps overused, but networking opportunities, because people don't stay in one place forever, so they want to think about the ways in which they liaise with different organisations. But sometimes it's just about ideas. The ideas that you meet when you come to an event like Reward Live are very important, not because you're going to copy what somebody else is doing, but because learning about what someone else is doing may enable reflection, may enable learning, may enable rethinking about the approach that each individual takes back to their own organisation. I don't think you can beat it.